I'm going slow. I can't even outrun the bugs. That's not fun. Ugh.
You've gotten your new gravel bike and you're on a bike tour and you find that, gosh, the gears just aren't very low. And you're kind of disappointed that manufacturers really don't put low enough gears. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I did in order to lower the gears on my gravel bike to make it really usable and enjoyable. Where have all the good touring drivetrains gone? This is my 2007 Bruce Gordon with a triple crankset, 9-speed. It has really low gears and was a fantastic bike. There's very few manufacturers anymore. There's Velo Orange, Rene Hurst, IRD, and a few others. Amazingly, Shimano makes 106 different cranksets, but only a handful of those are triple. As the manufacturers really left us very few choices. In all fairness, I do not have a 1x drivetrain, but these are my opinions. The jumps between the gears are way too big. Yes, it has a very easy shifting pattern, but I personally feel like you would be hunting for the right gear all the time. It's just my opinion. Next up is 2x cranksets, i.e. compact cranksets. These work great on lightweight bikes that are less than 18 pounds. You're not carrying any gear. But it's a tough challenge to use those on gravel bikes because number one, they're not compatible, and two, you won't find compact cranksets with low gears. Internally geared options such as here my CoMotion with a pinion drivetrain or roll-off are great with low maintenance, but they can be heavy and they could strand you. Also, you have mullet drivetrains where you combine parts from different manufacturers, but then you might have incompatibilities, but some people really like these and have success. Here I am climbing Haters Gap in Virginia on my Litespeed Flint last spring, and it has a 31-48 crankset. Has a GRX 825 Grupo with a 1134 cassette. And it gave me low gears, but I sure wanted something lower. So given all these different options I've shown you with 1x, 2x, mullets and everything else, I could have tried a cassette with a larger range, but then I'd have to use some off-brand rear derailleur hanger. And those are not super compatible. People have problems with getting reliable shifting. There could be problems exceeding the maximum capacity of the rear derailleur. So I determined the best thing for me to solve my problem was to change the cranks away from the Shimano GRX. So some of my requirements was that it had to work with a gravel bike chainline, it couldn't exceed the max capacity of the rear derailleur or the chain difference of the front derailleur, and it must match the chainline of a gravel bike. And the front derailleur must drop low enough in order to work with chain rings that are much smaller, and the arch has to fit or come as close to possible as the chain rings. My frame has to be able to handle the smaller chain rings, and the crank has to work well with Shimano. So who are some of the people that make compatible ones? Well, there's Rene Hurst, but there's a square taper only, nothing against that. There's IRD Polaris, but they only have a 26-42 combination. There's Praxis, but they only have a 32-48. And then there's White Industries, which is a perfect match for what I wanted. And they have lots of chainring options, and they have a really great reputation. Let's get technical. This is a great website. It shows a bicycle gear calculator. This is comparing in the top section the gear inches and showing the chain rings of a 31-48 with the 11 to 36. In the bottom it shows the White Industries crankset with a 24 and 40 chainring. As you can see, my gear inches have been lowered from about 24 down to about 18. Hence that gives me a much lower gear. And it also has brought down the gears on the high end. When you go touring, you're very rarely up around 25 to 30 miles an hour, so it's useless to have so many gears up there in the high end that really don't do you any good. So I think that this combination will work out for me much better than the stock 31 to 48. Alright, it's time to see what I installed. I ordered the White Industries G30 crankset with a 2440 chainring. And they have like the G30, M30, and R30. Basically, it's a 30 millimeter axle, as you can see right here. Very well machined. You don't have to worry about which way to install it. It's the same length either way. Their instructions are really fantastic. It shows the exact torque specifications. I also ordered the BBE 30 T47 since my Flint has a T47 bottom bracket. Alright, so here we are taking out the GRX 825 crankset and bottom bracket. This is the Chris King bottom bracket, very well made. The tool I'm using here is a part tool. I found that this tool works really well on the Chris King. Here you're seeing I actually had a Apple AirTag inside of the bottom bracket shell, so it makes it very hard for somebody to get it out. Now this worked well with a 24 millimeter spindle that was in the GRX crankset, but unfortunately there wasn't enough clearance with a 30 millimeter, so I could no longer put it there. What I did actually end up doing is I could drop it down the seat tube, and I stuffed some foam in the bottom of the seat tube right above the bottom bracket, and it just barely fit. I mean, there's like probably half a millimeter clearance between the internal diameter of the seat tube and the external diameter of the actual AirTag. Alright, so here we are, we're putting in the new White Industries bottom bracket, and I'm using the part tool, and I found that it really didn't have a good mesh with their bottom bracket. So I actually ended up getting tools from Abbey Tools, and it fit much better. Of course, I am greasing every surface with a proper lubrication. In the instructions, White Industry tells you should lubricate every surface that touches each other, including all the threads. So they have lots of chainring combinations, which is what I really liked about the White Industries. And here I am torquing it down to the proper specifications. Almost has, I think it's like that's like a bottom bracket tool that actually fits a lock ring. And the proper installation for the White Industries is to install the non-drive side crank arm and to basically torque it and then push it through the bottom bracket. And here you can see I dropped the seal that came right off the drive side. So you just kind of push it through. It took a little persuasion with the rubber mallet, but that's fine. And so I've cleaned it up. No harm, no foul. I've got the seal in, and now we're going to put the drive side crank on. They have self-extracting crank arm bolts, which is like a throwback to, gosh, the 80s. I think we had those many years ago with, I think Sagino had those. And of course, we're going to torque everything to the right specification that is required per the instructions. Now you see the front dryer was way too high, so I had to get a Problem Solvers, that's a Problem Solvers front dryer hanger, which allows up to, I think, 20 to 25 millimeters of vertical movement. So that was helped solve the problem, no pun intended, to allow me to get the derailleur hanger down to the proper 1 to 2 millimeter clearance right above the chain rings. So it actually would be in the proper alignment with the derailleur hanger, right in line and vertical with the actual chain rings. And once I put everything together, I immediately found that, well, of course, if you're going with much lower gears, you're going to need a shorter chain. So here I am. I took 2 full links out of the chain, and I reused my quick links. There's a big debate I'm not going to get into there whether you can reuse those or not. But here's a little trick. You can just put the quick link at the top, and you don't have to worry about tightening. You just hold the wheel and pull the crank forward, plink, it just locks itself. All right, so now we're giving it a test to see how well everything's shifting. It looks like I'm going through the up and down on the front, and because that's really the only thing I changed. So I had to go through quite a bit of adjustment to get it right, but as you can see, it's shifting up and down beautifully. I couldn't be happier with the way that this works. I'm on a training ride here with my new drivetrain.
I'm in my 2436 on an 8% climb. Got a nice good high cadence like I like. So I think I'm happy with this one. I think this is gonna work out just fine. Nothing like a 10-11% climb on an 80-pound bike. Oh my God. I'm making it. I'm in my 2436. Tough climb. But at least I got a better pedal cadence.
Well, I'm happy the way that this came out. As you can see, I'm spinning really nicely. It's smooth and quiet. I did do a little bit more adjusting a few weeks after this to get rid of the chain rope, but I'd highly recommend this modification.